today, Marco. This is going to be an interesting topic about helping shipping lines and container operators with their imbalance of empty containers and also repositioning strategies. My first question
Yep.
is, what is the problem that shipping lines and container operators face today?
Well, the shipping industry, it's in a complicated. It's been a complicated year, or at least a couple of years, and rates are going down, or are at a very low spot in this, especially this 2015, and that has take these shipping lines and container operators to be more concerned on and more aware of their operational costs. And a big part of their operational costs, it's related to the repositioning of empty containers. So basically, shipping lines, because of the nature of their business, each port means, each port turns into a surplus or a deficit location, most likely, because they don't have the same amount of containers coming in that the amount of containers that are coming out of that same port. So they end up having surplus of containers in some ports and deficit in others. And that brings them to the need of reposition these empty units to bring them from where they have a surplus to where they have a deficit. And that it's a huge expenditure. Basically, the industry as a whole thing spent every year something around 16 billion US just in moving these empty units from one port to another, and that's a big issue for them, and that has different solutions, and there's been different approaches to this problem. But basically, at some point, you have to move the empty boxes from place to place. No, it has some environmental outcomes as well.
And how can this problem be addressed?
Well, one of the solutions that it's already there, and we've seen, is that some shipping lines and some container operators like leasing companies and those kind, basically sometimes they, in very small clubs, let's say, they know each other, and they would call each other with asking them if they have spare containers where they need, or if they need spare containers where they have surplus. So in some cases, they find this type of matching opportunities, and they do what it's called a one-way exchange, which is basically they borrow containers or from each other, and a company that has a surplus in a certain port would give those containers to someone that has a deficit at the same port, that would return them to them in a redelivery location that it's more useful than the original one. No, so basically both companies avoid having to reposition these units, and the containers don't get moved empty, so they get moved with cargo. No.
And do you have any success examples?
Well, yeah, we through our company Finebooks, we started being like acting as a third party, like a neutral third party, and independent from all shipping lines. That basically we're asking all of them, or all the ones that are participating with us, about their inventory levels, or basically for each port if they have deficit or surplus. So and then we start processing that information and trying to find these matching opportunities. When we find them, we start shooting them opportunities in a blind manner, let's say, without telling them who's the other part, the counterparty that needs their containers, their surplus containers, or who's the counterparty that has a surplus where they have a deficit. And once both parties agree on terms and conditions and on the same opportunity, then we release the information of who they are so that they can do a one-way direct exchange within themselves. And that has been proven successful so far. We're today doing operations. We're having operations on a weekly basis almost, and there's lots of opportunities to grow on that trade.
And can you provide a brief background of yourself?
Well, I'm a industrial engineer, and basically my experience comes from the management consulting industry. I had some past in some technology related businesses as well, and then I got into retail, and through retail I got into logistics, and then I got deeper into logistics, being a customer for shipping lines, and that's how I got to know more about the shipping lines and the shipping industry, and got to see about this problem.
Great, and thanks, Marco, for sharing today this important topic.
Thank you, Dustin. It's my pleasure. Thank you really for the interest and for the interview.